The issue is it's being sold as something, or is being told as something that is not quite yet. The bigger issue, what it's important to investors, is when does this technology really scale? We're not at the scaling point yet. Just putting a couple more cars in a different city, whether it's in Arizona or Atlanta or where all these markets where the self-driving cars are going, is not yet a service. It is still baby steps. It's experimental.
Hi, I'm Maddie, Hale, and welcome to the Tech Report. Today I've had Tim Higgins on the show. He's a Wall Street Journal columnist. We've spoken about these Q2 results from Meta and Microsoft and upcoming results from Amazon and Apple. So all of that today. We speak about how they're doing well and how it's a little bit different to last week with Tesla's findings, which were a bit disappointing and worse than analysts had been predicting. We also speak about Elon Musk. He's building a tunnel in Nashville. So all that today on the Tech Report. Tim Higgins, a Wall Street Journal columnist, thank you so much for joining the Tech Report today.
Thank you.
A big week of results from these big companies. We should kick off with Meta and Microsoft's Q2 results were released on Wednesday night. The general consensus from these two leading companies is that they performed well and even better than analysts had expected.
Yeah, blockbuster results, really. And you see the investor enthusiasm in the hours and the day afterwards. Microsoft hitting this crazy level of $4 trillion market valuation. Only the second company to ever do that after NVIDIA, the chip maker, which did that in earlier July. And what's fueling it all? AI, the enthusiasm around the development and implementation of artificial intelligence. Both Microsoft, NVIDIA, big players in that, but also Meta, trying to make a big play in that as well. Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook, is out there just spending huge to try to lure some of the best and brightest in AI to help Meta's ambitions. And investors are okay with that because the company's doing so well in these latest results. So kind of giving them license to continue to spend big on this next big bet of AI. You have to remember, Mark Zuckerberg in recent history has kind of had some big expenses. He went big on the metaverse, that idea of virtual reality world. Investors were kind of nervous about that, and there's been some question about would they be willing to go along with kind of the big spending in AI, but they seem to be okay with that, as some of the results are clearly helping Meta. They're having AI-generated ads. There's excitement about it for its business. And so just a blockbuster week for these two companies.
I know that they can't be compared one for one, Tim, but if we do compare them in some way in terms of who's kind of come out on top in the recent findings, who is in the driving seat, not just financially, but culturally? Who has kind of embraced innovation and AI more so? I know that Microsoft and Meta, they're investing billions of dollars into AI, but is there one company that's leading the charge?
Well, Microsoft is definitely among the publicly traded companies the one that has captured investors' enthusiasm for about the potential of what they can do with that, how they can integrate it with their offerings to businesses and to consumers. You have to remember they have that very unique relationship with OpenAI, the startup out there that's really the darling in Silicon Valley, based here in San Francisco, where I am. They have this relationship where Microsoft is able to use some of their technology to power their AI offering, and that has been a boom for Microsoft. And also their cloud computing, which overperformed among expectations in the quarter, really exciting investors about the potential.
Amazon and Apple's Q3 results will be released Thursday night, and Amazon's Q2 results will also be released. So how do you think these two companies will fare?
It's another story about AI. For Amazon, you hear this investor excitement. They think that perhaps they'll see some better than expected results because of Amazon's cloud services, AWS. Amazon, in some way, is a company that has not benefited as much as some investors feel like it should for its position in AI. When you think of Amazon, you think of buying stuff and getting it sent to your house, whether it's my latest book or toothpaste or shoes. But they are huge in AI with their cloud computing. So investors will be looking for that, especially after seeing how Microsoft could have overperformed expectations in the cloud business. And then you look at Apple, a different story. Not seen as keeping up in the AI race. Investors looking for commentary, color from Tim Cook, the CEO, to kind of assure them that Apple is serious and has a plan about AI. You have to recall that some of the features that were promised a while ago in the Siri with AI features have been delayed. Probably looking for some more color in that regard. The question is, can Apple compete in AI? And that's one of the overhangs on the company at this point.
Well, I wonder how much they will invest in that, as you said, because Apple, a company that's been around since 1976, Microsoft, a company that was started in 1975, Tim, how did these two companies remain so innovative and competitive after all these years?
Well, for Apple, it's been a rebirth. You have to remember this device, the iPhone, really changed the company. This is not the company that Steve Jobs originally founded around computers. This is a company that is selling these devices in huge amounts around the world, but also has developed a service business, a digital service business. It is the gateway to the digital markets through its app store. Microsoft, if we were talking about them a generation ago when the iPhone was kind of exploding, it looked like Microsoft had fallen behind in the web browser, in the search wars, in digital devices. They missed the mobile market, essentially. They were able to really kind of reinvent themselves around computing, really kind of taking advantage of their role in the business world with the suite of services they offer businesses, and expanding into video games. So in some ways, they are ubiquitous in the business world, and they're becoming increasingly ubiquitous again in the consumer world with gaming and all of the other stuff that you do. So really a story of being able to capitalize on pivoting towards the cloud.
You mentioned San Francisco before, where you're, of course, based, Tim. Elon Musk, he's been expanding and developing his Robotaxi. Now, they launched in Austin in June. When you and I spoke last week, when Tesla's results came out, we couldn't really decipher how well the Robotaxi had done because it had only really been on the market for a number of weeks. But he does plan to expand into California and had kind of made that a big centerpiece of why investors should stay on the course with him and not be wary, because Robotaxis and driverless taxis in general and robots in general for Elon Musk are the future. But he's come into a bit of a hurdle apparently, because the app is basically saying that San Francisco robotaxis are live, but then Politico is reporting that he's actually come into a situation where there are no permits given to Tesla to be carrying out these driverless taxis in California.
Yeah, this is a classic kind of maybe example of kind of getting ahead of your skis. Musk has indicated a number of markets he wants to expand into. California is heavily regulated when it comes to robotaxis, when it comes to self-driving car technology. There's a bunch of processes. It just does not happen overnight. And by all accounts, Tesla is not ready to do these sorts of things. Now, what it could mean, what they could do is offer essentially a service where somebody's driving somebody around, almost like a taxi, but probably not collecting money, because then that would fall under the taxi regulations. Really more about the experience of getting the cars out on the road and starting to collect data is what I think is probably going on here. But the issue is it's being sold as something, or is being told as something that is not quite yet. The bigger issue, what it's important to investors, is when does this technology really scale? We're not at the scaling point yet. Just putting a couple more cars in a different city, whether it's in Arizona or Atlanta or where all these markets where the self-driving cars are going, is not yet a service. It is still baby steps. It's experimental.
On another situation, a bit of a problem for Elon Musk, although he is acting as if it's not a big deal. And I guess this is a bit of a drop in the ocean in terms of his wealth, Tim. But the Ford government, Ontario's premier in Canada, he has agreed to pay an undisclosed fee, we don't know how much it is, for cancelling the region's $68 million US dollars, I'll say, deal with Starlink. The deal was signed last November and was aimed to provide around 15,000 rural and regional homes with internet in northern Ontario. A few months later, Doug Ford basically said he wouldn't do business with Elon Musk no longer because of his relationship with Donald Trump, because he was upset that Donald Trump had imposed these tariffs on Canada that would affect his region. So the deal has officially ended as of Wednesday. No longer Starlink in northern Ontario, but they have had to pay this fee to get out of it, which we sadly don't know how much that would be, Tim. But do you think this is just another example of Elon Musk's political ambitions failing and seeping into his business?
Clearly, there's overhang. His politics on his businesses, whether it's Tesla, the car brand, or in this case, Starlink. Musk, if we were to have him on the show, I'm sure would say he does not care that he's going to speak out. He's going to follow his politics, that is more important for humanity, these sorts of things. But it is an issue, right? And it gets at this bigger issue of Starlink and the power that it gives Musk on the international stage. It's really injected him into geopolitics in a way that you don't typically see for a private business. I think of the Ukraine-Russia war, where it's clearly been an issue there. Other governments around the world nervous, if you will, or wary of the power that Musk has over these communication satellites that allow internet in a country that may or may not have it, or open up new ways of communicating. It's powerful stuff, and it comes with geopolitical power, but also political power here in the States. And what we see here in Canada is yet kind of another example of a politician trying to use whatever soapbox they have to draw attention to it. We have seen, though, that it's in other examples it's had little effect, because that technology is so powerful that if you're a government in need of this, you really don't have very many other options. You're kind of stuck with Starlink at this point, which is why you see governments in Europe trying to push to develop competitors to Starlink, but it's a really big challenge and a far behind way of catching up.
On a completely separate note, Tennessee's Governor Bill Lee, he said that Elon Musk's tunnel digging company, the Boring Company, will build a 10-mile loop that will connect Nashville's downtown, its convention center, towards the airport. This will be privately funded by the Boring Company along with private partners. But Tim, first of all, I was not aware that he even owned a tunnel digging company, just another business to add to Elon Musk's many hats, I will say. But has he garnered enough attention when it comes to this project, this side of his wealth and, I guess, expeditions?
Has he garnered enough attention for this part of his business? I would say in some ways he's garnered a lot of attention for something that is still in its infancy. I have been in one of these tunnels in California. It's a tunnel. It's underground. It's got a hole. I mean, it is what it is. The advancements that he proposed, or that he purports to be doing here, is digging these holes faster and more efficiently. It's interesting. It's interesting if you are thinking about setting up a civilization on Mars, and you're going to need to do a lot of tunneling there for your habitats and other things, which is kind of perhaps some of the motivation here of what he's up to. That's where the innovation is coming, and is in the tunneling, how to do it. He has a somewhat of a tunnel system in Las Vegas, which is moving people. In a lot of ways, it feels like a tourist kind of endeavor, and it's more experimentation at this point. Though it has attracted investment and the odd occasional story about what he's up to.
Just finally, Tim, Microsoft, they released a list of jobs that they consider to be the most or least likely to be around or replaced by AI. According to the report, translators, historians, sales reps, writers, authors, customer service reps are all on the chopping block when it comes to AI replacements. Though anyone working heavy machinery, nursing assistants, housekeepers, massage therapists are safe. I thought this was an interesting report. Historians, authors, writers, broadcast announcers is a little bit startling for me. So how did you find this report? Was it just normal stuff for you, or is it as scary as some of us might find it?
Yeah, it's like staring into the abyss and, wondering if we're going to make it. We're screwed, essentially.
Well, you are an author and a journalist.
Yeah, and you're seeing if you use any of this technology, if you use these chats or you use this kind of generative AI, you're seeing kind of in real time how far and how fast it's coming along. And one of the questions I routinely ask people here in Silicon Valley is, kind of what's their predictions? And I kind of find it on two extremes. There is this extreme where the warning of like AI is coming for all these jobs and you're in trouble. There is another perspective out there that you hear, from a lot of senior tech leaders who maybe come from it in a little bit more traditional way, and they see it as a potentially kind of amplifying the work that people do. When people become more efficient, they can do more work, and that's what these companies will be doing. They'll just give them the opportunity to do more. It's probably somewhere in the middle. I mean, we have seen these AI chats in some ways replacing or coming for jobs in customer service. You can imagine companies very eager to replace some of these other traditional kind of white-collar jobs that could be automated in a way that perhaps would be cheaper. So weird times ahead.
God, you say it for the people in the back. Tim Higgins, thank you so much for joining the Tech Report today.
Thank you.